Hello, everybody. My name's Milan Starcic. Welcome to Freedom Rising, a podcast dedicated to empowering individuals on the journey to personal growth, lasting serenity, and freedom from addiction. Tune in and join the movement. Your journey to freedom starts here. We neither represent, promote, or demote any 12-step program or organization. We are merely souls on the path of recovery with the desire to expand our lives and experiences and share them with you. Hello, everybody.
What is up?
Welcome to the 207th Recovery Freedom Rising podcast. I'm Milan Starcic with co-hosts Andrew Norman and Brandi S. And a shout out to a man we love who isn't here today, J.
Love you.
Today's topic is Hopenmindedness. Would you share what this means to you, Andrew, and why you are happy to come here and do a little pirouette?
I would love to. I love you too immensely. Hopenmindedness. If y'all haven't been watching the past few episodes, because I don't know how to speak the English language very well, we have a topic today. I think I blabbled those two together, Hopenmindedness, and then everyone took to it. It was pretty cool when I was watching it back. It was really funny. I was like, man, we are amazing. We're freaking amazing. We're magical, aren't we?
Magical
miracles, man. What are you talking about?
So Hopenmindedness. I told y'all in our little pre-meeting, our very brief pre-meeting, that I had a hot take for you guys. I'm just gonna kind of like break it down. Like hope first off was something I watched other people have. When I think about before I got here, I was definitely like a luxury item that I wasn't afforded. Right, that whole hope thing, like natural hope. Like I didn't understand how people were doing what they were doing and being happy and hopeful and maintaining their lives the way I could never do, So it's hard for me to get hope from normal everyday people, I had like an internal dialogue with myself, right? Like I had gone too far. I told myself that a lot. Like you're too far out there, man. You're too far out there. I remember thinking like people don't change, right? Like once we get to a certain point, like we're not going to change. And I felt like I always ruined it, right? Like whatever it was, man, whenever anything I had going on in my life, like I had a way to F it up, So hope, when I think about like that word hope, like that hope itself, like it wasn't just like absent, right? Like it was dead. Like it was literally dead. Like that whole avenue of hope, it wasn't there, it was done. It was dead. It was asked out. Right. And, so when shit like that, like shit that I was hopeful for, when it wouldn't happen, which was all the time, I was crushed. Right. It would crush me. Right. So like, instead I would just teach myself not to have any. Right. It was a lot easier to use drugs and not have any hope. Once as an addict, right? I have an addict mindset. I have a disease of more. And like once we lose that hope, bro, like it's really hard to find it if you don't get some help or you don't have like a drastic change to your life. Like that drastic thing has to come from somewhere outside of us, right? For us to even to start to understand what that word is, right? And we go into like open-mindedness. Like that was laughable to me. I was closed off to any help, right? I was closed off to any new ideas. I was closed off to any different way of living. I was closed off to any spiritual principles. Let's just leave it at that. Anything spiritual, I was closed off to it. I was completely closed off to vulnerability, the possibility of change, right? The list can growth. I didn't have. I wasn't ready for it. Right? I wasn't in an avenue to be able to do any of those things. And especially like all those suggestions that those loved ones give us that love us and they're selling these things for a reason. Like I couldn't take any of those suggestions. Like I believe I already knew everything in my little diseased mind. Right. But really I was so terrified of being wrong. Like that's really what my problem was. I didn't know anything, bro. I didn't have anything figured out. Right. And that's where we try to stay teachable and stuff in this program, right? And open-minded to new possibilities and new ways of living without the use of drugs. We have to be open-minded. But here's my hot take. open-mindedness went down a notch. And I'm not here to like downplay spiritual principles or whatever, right? I'm not like open-mindedness is amazing, but it's kind of a byproduct, right? Because I read in my literature that like without willingness, open-mindedness is nothing but a word,
Mm.
right? So if we're going to talk about open-mindedness today, we got to talk about being willing, because like we can be open-minded. I can sit here and be open-minded to being the president of the world, right? And I can be as open-minded as
Yeah.
I want, right? If
Yeah.
I'm not willing to make some steps to like do that, like I want to be a business owner, but I'm gonna sit here all day, right? And just hopefully it happens, right? Like
Yeah.
we got to be willing, right? So hope and mindedness, right? I'm glad we kind of put the two together because it pumps open mindedness up, right? Hope kind of gives open mindedness a nudge in the right direction to maybe find some of that willingness that we're looking for, right? Because we got to be willing, and then willingness without action is fantasy, right? So we got open minded. You can't do anything without being willing after that open minded piece, but then we got to put that into action because it becomes a video game if not, right? Like that's what I'm taught.
Yeah.
So that's my like little break into it. Open minded. I love the whole like the word and all that shit is pretty cool. I love you
I
guys, man.
think
Brandi,
our next one together should be willingness.
let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I
like
love
I
I think it's
that.
mean,
very
you
important.
you kind of just showed how obviously that's the direction we're going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brandy,
Yeah.
Brandi, so
So brain dizzle in the hizzle. So I was so confused at first. I was like, somebody did a typo. And I was like,
I
wait.
knew
And
it.
then, yeah, I know. And I'm like, okay. But when I think about this, that beautiful word together, and even, like hope alone, like Andrew was saying, like I lost all hope when I was using. I had hopes like, hope the dope man would show up or hope I don't get caught and then there's like the average hopes of like, oh, I hope I don't burn dinner or whatever. But the true genuine hope that drives me today wasn't I wouldn't say it was not existing. It wasn't out there yet. Like I didn't understand it. I didn't know of that kind of hope that I have today. I really thought that the path that I was living was just how it was. It's who I am. It's the cards I was dealt. It's in my genes. It's I'm not worth, I didn't have hope to live a different life. And but again, I wasn't open-minded. I wasn't willing, none of that. Like because what I saw with the actions and the repeated actions that I did, like again, is didn't give me I didn't see the hope. I couldn't even grasp for it, And then when you get into recovery and you like I hated to hear, well, your way's not working because I was determined like I'm gonna get this. Like
what?
yeah, like and I hated it. I was very resentful towards my husband. Those were all the things that when they tell you this is how you know you're an addict, and I realized I was portraying that all onto my husband, but I was the one doing it. Stuff like that. And man, what a beautiful thing to have hope today. And life isn't perfect, but I know that I can reach for something, if I stay open-minded to it, because I can hope, hope, hope all I want. I can sit here and do nothing all day and hope that I get something done, or if I try to do something over and over again, and I'm not getting it right, I need to be open-minded. I need to remain teachable. And that's a huge thing. That changed my life and my recovery, but which then changed my life tremendously. And I always want to have hope. Even if I feel like I got everything I need, I always want to have hope and in a direction that's not selfish like it was for so long. And I've known that today my way isn't always the right way, but I'm okay with that because I'm open-minded to other perspectives and other ways of doing things, especially in an area I don't know anything about. Like I know my recovery today and from this point before, but I don't know tomorrow. So I'm going to stay open-minded if I can have a suggestion or something that might help me through the next day, the next 24 hours. And from I can speak for myself, but I don't think I'm alone. Like from somebody that had no hope at all and was just giving up on what could be to having the hope I have today. It's just a transformation that I still awe over. all over the way that I look at things in different angles, perspectives, or anyone else's side to something or opinion. Like I was always say, like I'm open-minded if you agree with me, but that's not
Mm,
that that just doesn't work like that. Doesn't mean that doesn't creep up sometimes, but I'm like, "Psh, wait, hold on. This is
a lot of
open up your
contingencies
mind,
there.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I gotta be like the teachable, remaining teachable, like that phrase right there. I've always held on to that one because I want to make sure I remain teachable. Because like I said, I didn't like, I was like, no, this is my way. You're doing that. I'm not doing that. So I'll leave it right there. I love you guys. And this is a
I love
great
you
topic,
guys.
a great word.
Love y'all.
Yeah, man, I remember in treatment, one of the ladies always said, "How's that working for you?"
Ooh, I hate that.
When you
I hate
started up,
that.
and
I
I was
hate
just
that.
like,
That's
you
the
know,
worst.
it's
Your
kind
house
of
is your
Yeah.
house.
it's
It's your
kind of
house.
not, like
Bitch.
I was hoping minded I
Yeah.
was right, but
I
you
always
know,
heard, I'll see you when you come back. And I'm like,
yeah.
what?
You know
How's that working out
what
for
I
you?
love about this word, yes, I do agree that it's missing the willingness, especially like if you think about the Narcotics Anonymous reading, when it goes after it talks about how it works, right? But the one thing I do think is that, I certainly didn't have like a vision for hope inside my addiction. Like
Mm,
I didn't know happy straight people. So,
yeah.
like, I honestly thought it was like either continue on to jails, institutions, or death, or be unhappy. Like, I really thought that that was the option. Like maybe other people grew up around the program, others saw stuff. I didn't see that. You
Mm.
either partied or you were a miserable jerk. Like, and that miserable jerk was me, by the way, just saying for my white knuckling moments. Like, so I was absolutely proof.
Yeah.
I'm not happy. I'm like fixating on everybody partying and thinking I'm missing on everything. And so,
Mm,
you know, I had to, I had to be open minded to the point where all my actions were wrong. You know, all my rationalizations,
yeah.
all my rationalizations of like, and that, like, I'm still unpacking those rationalizations. Like I
Yeah.
get to like one layer and I just did another step 5 on Tuesday. And like, I'm like, whoa. First of all, real proud of where I've come from the first round, but
Me too.
Yeah.
like still a lot of work in progress. And then, like Brandy was saying, like she was like, I was open minded if you were doing what I wanted. I had to
Yeah.
be open minded to not being right,
Yeah.
and actually start to embrace that feeling, which my whole life was not doing that, and so like, it kind of boils down to like, I don't know how, but I'm willing to believe it can work. And then that hope is slowly interfaced with faith, and almost
Mm,
it's not exchanging my hope for faith, because the little increments of faith that I've gotten have greatly increased my hope. It's like I can almost hope for anything because I've seen such miracles happen.
yeah.
Like it hasn't diminished my hope to have more faith. It's not a reciprocal relationship. It's like it's some kind of exponential thing. And, like surrender opens it up for me to let go of like my fear and my pride and my ego that get in the way of that open-mindedness, and
Mm,
and loving completely is helping me trust in that, that things that um oh, I had an epiphany 2 days ago, guys. I'll just say this and then I'm going to finish.
Oh,
Is that I don't think for me now that love is a verb or a noun. Like I'm not giving you love, and I'm not like, what I think it is like serenity. And it's just
Hmm.
like, if I can get myself to like a serene state, then I kind of become bulletproof on my ability to surrender things. But love, if I can become loving, not act loving, not say loving things, but just become loving, that will radiate out through my actions and my words, just
Yep.
like serenity and peace.
You trying to make me
Yeah.
smile?
Oh,
Yeah.
You trying to make me smile?
uh, maybe I'm being loving.
Because you just
Always.
talk about love, I just smile. You make me smile when you say, like, anytime you just bring up love and how important it is, I just can't stop smiling.
But I had a fundamental shift in my feeling about love in that way that
Mm.
that it's much like preparing this vessel to be loving, you know.
You're
Hmm.
just adding layers onto that love, big dog.
Dude,
Oof,
I am,
My
and
it's
it's
lathered up.
amazing.
Let's
my
go.
mother-in-law, I gotta share this really quick. My mother-in-law, I call her my mother-in-law.
I love
Before
that.
I know, because if I
Woo.
say mother-in-law, I feel like people think I don't like her.
Mm.
And she was
Spicy
like my
love.
best
Love
friend.
that. Love that.
And but
Mother-in-law.
she like had this like God spoke to her in her dreams. He did. And I'm
Mm.
always like waited for the day that happened for me. But
Remember
I
you
think
telling us that.
yeah, and I think that it's just like it's different for everybody. I feel it here. But anyways, she struggled with judging and stuff like that. Very loving person, but she struggled. And God told her one night that all you do is love. Just love somebody. Like all this other like don't worry about what they're doing wrong. Like just if you just love them, it'll be okay. And
Love will win.
yeah, and that was like such a profound moment for me when she was telling me about it because
Mm.
really if you just take all this stuff of what you could think about somebody or what they're doing wrong or what you want that they have or whatever, if you just love them, it's the
Mm.
rest is done.
It
There's nothing
is
else you could do.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
agree
love
with
love.
that
I love
100%.
love. I love
Yeah.
Yeah.
love so much.
We're here to
Mm-mm.
love each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, Andrew, you got a question?
I love how every podcast ends up being about love. You know that, right? Like it ends up having this undertone of love.
Recovery
Are
love.
y'all catching on yet? Are y'all catching on yet out there in Uzbekistan? Are you
I,
catching
I,
on yet?
for me, I think that I'm trying to filter all my perception through surrender and love right
Yeah.
now. That's literally how I'm trying to think of all these topics. Really,
That is a beautiful Brita water
I love
filter
it.
of filtration.
That's
That
why
yeah.
nobody wanted
mm,
character defects, huh?
mm.
No,
Just love,
no. It's just you
I'm
gotta wait.
joking.
You gotta pick it next.
bro. Just let a little
I,
love in your heart, man. Let a little
yeah.
love in your heart. I promise. Like the things that you're feeling, like if you let love, like some kind of natural light and love into your heart, bro, like it's gonna help some way. I don't care, some way. It's gonna help your
Yeah.
situation. So,
Yeah.
um, even if you just love it enough to like step away from that situation, right? Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's
That's a good point. It's a good way. Good
it'll
point.
start some self love for you. So here's my question, Brandizzle. How
Brand
has
deal.
obviously love, because there love's everywhere, but here how I say this question. How has hope and mindedness changed your relationships today?
You know, first it changed my vocabulary and but it when I
It's
look at
really
it
how
like
has
that,
open-mindedness, but hope and
yeah, I like it though. I do. My brain tries to fight it, but I'm not gonna fight
I know,
it.
me too.
Uh,
I
when it
love
comes to
it.
those topics, it's like, with relationships, and I'll just speak about my husband. That's my biggest relationship for sure. Like we were roommates before I got clean, and and mind you, we've been together 25 years now, but we were like, the whole classic stay together for the kids kind of thing. That was him. Me, I was just happy to stay and not get kicked out. I mean, like I said before, I should have been like, I would have broke up with my husband 1,000 times, if I was him. But anyways, I didn't know where we were going to go when I got clean, because some relationships don't work after that. And but I had hope for everything that we'd had built before would still be there, but I didn't know it was going to be better. And but to be open-minded to what I did to other people and that their process of healing is different than mine. Like I got this amazing program. And so for me to be able to put a little bit of hope and a lot of open-mindedness into my relationship with my husband. Like today, I can say without feeling like I'm lying that I married my best friend, but it took a lot of work, and our active addiction, I know for myself, I did a lot of damage. I didn't just lose hope. He lost hope, you know, and I didn't like even God, I just think about being on his end of all like the stuff I spewed at him that was really me doing it, like, and I wasn't like he probably didn't think I was going to change. There was no open-mindedness to Brandy doing something different than she's been doing for so many years. And it's really a huge foundation of our relationship is being able to do that. We've both grown so much. And even when it comes to, family, I have a lot of hope for the relationships in my family members that are broken today. But when it comes to like, open-mindedness with it, I do try to see perspective, but I also know what I'm worth. And I know that I don't want to go about something in a way just to make it okay and it bring me down. I'm about moving forward healthy. And I don't want to slide back for anybody, but it doesn't mean I'm not open to trying to make things work out, trying to mend a relationship. But and I have hope for like, for my sister in particular, like I have hope one day that her and I will be able to have a conversation. But and I stay open-minded for it, that's for sure. But I also have guards up. So I don't know if that's really even having open-mindedness when I think about it, because I'm very standoffish about it. Just like I did to my husband, like you hurt somebody so many times. It's like for me, I had to do like a really a living amends is where it's at. And when it comes to that with my sister, I don't expect that from her, but I hope for that because I love my family and I hate it when my family doesn't speak to each other. And I'm always the first one to break the ice, even if I'm taking the blame for something that's not mine. I'm very big about that because I just want to get past it. And this is the one relationship I haven't done that with, that one incident. And I'm sure it's confusing to other people too. But today I know how I should be treated. And I don't mean like King Tut over here treat me like this. I mean as a human being. And I just I so with that, like I hope that one day it'll be different. But if I didn't have that hope for it being different, um I would be a lot sadder. It would be I would probably be a lot more, closed off person. But I want to have that hope. I'm a very and with that, I don't know if it goes with it, but it feels like it does. Like I'm a very optimistic person, and so hope is a big part of that. And I feel like a lot of things in our life, even relationships, we can't control anyone else, but if we really want something to work, we will work hard for it. We'll do the stuff for it. We don't like when I got a treatment, I was like, I'm clean. I haven't used for 28 days. You treat me like this. Uh, I had to work hard to get to my relationship with my husband today. Like I have the combination to the safe that has been, I don't even know how long. I've never gotten in it. And, but it's, that's the kind of stuff that like that hope and mindedness can do. It can repair not only me internally, but my relationships around me. Like my kids even they're so used to me reacting a certain way, and I just don't react like that anymore. And I couldn't tell them that that's not going to be like that. I had to let them see it for themselves. And I probably brought back a lot of hope in my family. They probably
Probably. Come on
yeah,
now.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. They probably didn't see how it was going to go. Like they probably
No.
ha especially my kids, they only knew one way of life. And now
They got mom
it's
back.
like
They got mom back.
yeah, they got mom back.
Come
Yeah, and
on,
they got
man.
mom and dad back because we
Yep.
were so divided. And so it's a beautiful thing.
Mm.
Hope is it's a beautiful tool, but not even that. It's like a part of me. I want to look at things in a hopeful way. Because if you don't have hope, what you doing? What are you doing? How are you going forward? I hope to go backwards. I don't think so. I'll leave it there. I love you guys.
Brandy, you brought up a really great point, a lot of really great points, but then you touched on taking the blame for the family just to like just to be right with the situation. And that's where we hit on that codependency part, right? It gets a little
Yeah.
tricky in there when you start just, because I found myself doing that too. Like I'll just take the blame just to be like,
Yep.
and what it does is it allows us to establish a little control in the situation, even whatever control it might be.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Right? Because we're gonna take the blame and we're gonna have people coming at us, but like at least we know that, right? We're controlling that part of
Yeah.
it. It gets a little
I never
gets real
thought about
hairy.
that before. I never thought about that before. That's a really good point because I got control issues too. And if I can control it, even if it's chaos, it's still under my
You're
control.
like, what? I took the blame. I did everything. No, but you actually got
Yeah.
control that way. You actually, in a weird way,
Yeah. Wow. That's an aha moment for
controlled
me
the
right there.
situation. So, wow. And so I'm going to ask you. And another thing I wanted to hit on. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to get sidetracked. You talked about your husband. It's so important because you're vocal with that, and you talk about how he doesn't mind telling you his displeasure with you too, and that's been important for me that you
Yeah.
voice that part of it where it's like
Yeah.
you have flat out asked him, you're doing step work on yourself, and you asked him like, and he's like, no, I'm not over it yet. Like flat
Yeah.
out, I got problems with it,
Yeah.
right? And it just
I was
allows you to
shocked, but I
give him
had to
exactly,
accept
yeah.
it.
It's a very, very
Yeah.
powerful. Like even when you talk about it like that, it gives anybody listening or myself like hope to be able to handle it that way too. Because like the world's not going to end. Like we're going to be okay. Just be honest, right? Like be honest with our loved ones and tell them where
I'd
we're at.
rather him be honest and tell me at that time that he didn't forgive
Yeah.
me, than to be like, "Oh yeah, I forgive you," and then not. And when I asked later, he did, and that was that gave him that time.
Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up.
Ooh.
That was really
Yeah.
important. Ready, Milan?
Yep.
How has our newly acquired term hope-mindedness changed your relationships?
Ooh. Well, first of all, I would say that before coming in and before gaining my hope and mindedness, I was pretty intolerant and pretty unaccepting of others, and seeing really the beauty and perfection of who they are right now, and so then it was just like I was resentful that you weren't part of this picture I was trying to paint, right? And so now I think that it's teaching me to have a greater tolerance and acceptance for others inside of it, and I fail at that all the time, but it is something that I'm actually hopeful and open-minded to having, like it,
Mm.
I'm open-mindedness about it for sure. And quite frankly, what it does is it helps me to see that beautiful child in everybody, that's underneath of all the negative conditioning and trauma and whatever that's happened to us all, like you look at like these little infants and how free and carefree they are, and then boom, something happens and they just laugh a little less or they're shy or
Yeah.
whatever, and and that's filtering their amazingness to us, right? And so the less open-minded we are to them, to everybody around us, the more they're going to be that shy little kid who just doesn't want to talk anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we never get to know them. And so I would like to think that this open-mindedness is giving me, more patience and more kindness because of what I've seen, like how it's affected me. And it's just like if I can offer what I'm hoping for myself, you know, like I'm going through a pretty heavy metamorphosis in 26 months in my life. And if I'm expecting other people to even still interact with me, right? Because I'm not who I was. I'm not playing those old roles that I was, or at
Yeah.
least I am as little as possible, right? Then I've also got to just be okay with where they're at. Like whether it's changing or not, like the hardest thing for me was making one of my amends after a couple good ones. And the person's like, yeah, I'm not ready for this. Like
Yeah.
I get it, Brand. Like I get it
Mhm.
100% where I was just like heartbroken,
Yeah.
like, and And with open-mindedness, that relationship is changing. It's not all the way there yet. You know, some scars run really deep. And I would way rather someone be honest with me than bullshit me or cajole me into thinking it's okay. Like that's what our
Yeah.
relationship was before, was a bunch of false fronts. Me pretending I was okay, them pretending it was okay, and then a bunch of people pleasing to smooth it all fucking over. And
Yeah. That's the
and
icing.
that
Mhm.
like that literally was it. And it was like, you know, okay, I'll overcompensate here and you'll pretend it wasn't as bad over here, you know?
Mhm.
And I don't want that anymore. You know, like I want the fragilities, I want the realities. And because the longer I'm in this, the more I hope that all that shit can eventually get some kind of healing, you know? And am I
Yeah.
open to it? Yes. And is it painful sometimes? You're fucking right, it is. You know, like sometimes it just downright hurts to see how much you've hurt someone.
Mm.
And that's okay though. You
Yeah.
know, because that pain is also going to be the pain of ripping that scar off the heart. I'm feeling like I'm moving forward because, you know, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Yeah.
I love you
And
guys.
and
I
if
love
nothing
you.
changes, I heard your clean time will.
Yeah.
If you ever heard that.
That's right. That's right. I got to say something real quick on that. Like when I was in treatment and I had to do a one-on-one with my husband, and he tried to get someone else to do it, but anyways, he did it. And I know he
Trying to
tried to
get a
get
stand in? Trying to get
my
a sit in?
sister-in-law to do it. Yeah, he just doesn't want to, he didn't want to face he
I
didn't want
don't mean to
to,
be tricked to me to
no,
like a
no,
joke, but like
I get it. Yeah. No, he had to do like a little survey, and he said in there like, and I had to read it in front of everybody, that I was a math book. I had a lot of problems.
that's funny.
He's like, you had
That's
to read
so
it out
funny.
loud. I was like, yeah. He's like, sorry, but I had to sit there and have him tell me everything. Like, what I had to be 100% because I had to move forward when I got home. But it was really hard for me to hear him say that, like, he stayed when I slept in the living room, like all he would lay there and wonder, like, knowing I was getting high, or his fear of me getting bad shit and dying. Like to hear him say that stuff, and not like, you know, him being mad, like sincerely from his heart, fucking hurt bad. It hurt, and like
It got
not that it was
real.
hurtful, like he was mean, but like, it was hard, but it was so needed. I didn't understand it at the time, but I had even told him, like, this is an important part, like to be able to say this kind of stuff. Like I had to, you know, he had to ask me questions too, and I had to be honest. Like I told him 95% of the time he asked me if I was high, and I said no, I was high. And so it was hard. It was really hard. I just had to say that part to it.
I love that.
That's so funny. Look, and you know, it makes me kind of chuckle because like you set this appointment up, right? And your husband's supposed to be there, and
Yeah.
like the therapist is there, right? And everybody's all like ready. You didn't sleep at all last night, right? And then there's a
Yeah.
knock at the door, and it's like your husband's doppelganger.
Yeah.
Like, like what's hey Brandy? And he looks just like he's trying to act like your husband. He's like sits down. He's like, all right, what are we doing here? You know, hey, so how are we going to
Yeah.
approach this today? And it reminds me of
Right.
the story of like Milan showing up to do your step 4 inventory
Yeah.
at like the Burger King, and it's like you and your sponsor, and then he opens up the door. It's like the priest sitting there with his like
Yeah.
with his like breakfast biscuit, going like, "Bro, I need a chai latte before we get started on this thing because I'm on the clock."
Yeah.
It's kind of
Oh
funny.
man.
It's funny,
That
man.
is funny. Yeah. And yeah, he
I'm
tried. I went and I was like, nope, we're doing this.
Nope.
But then you just made reference to the most important part of that was you needed to hear it out of his mouth, right?
Yeah.
Which is why we got to trust the process. We got to really just adhere to what these people are saying. They're professionals for a reason, especially when we're just
Yeah.
starting to get clean. You know, I'm gonna ask you,
Yeah.
Milan.
No, you're asking you.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
to answer
That's what
your
I meant.
question.
I thought I wanted to be Milan for a minute, man.
You
Why
could. You could go for it.
Can't y'all be
I'm
open
Andrew.
minded? Can't y'all be
I'm from
open minded
Virginia
today?
Beach.
Come on, be open
Look
minded,
at me.
please.
I'm on Virginia Beach today.
I'm a peach.
Look at me, peachy, peachy.
I'm in a peach patch. Ooh, yeah.
I'm an optometrist.
Um, Do you have
Is
bad
it the
eyes?
PM?
You have bad eyes.
What's your stigmatism?
Come talk to me. September sausage. Get your eyes checked. All right. So how has
You guys fucking crack me up.
open-mindedness changed my relationships? It's my first coffee of the day. Man. Give me a break. How has open-mindedness changed my relationships? Hashtag LLA.
That's right.
It's a great question. There's a lot to this. First off, the first thing that comes to my mind is it taught me to listen instead of defend. Right. I used to always defend what I had on my mind, and now I can actually listen with some kind of healthy, criticism, constructiveness in there, right, for myself, and they're part of it, where I can actually look at it from that point of love that we talk about. But it taught me to that pause, listen with intention, let the message land and not just float out, right? Actually process the message that I'm trying to be told, and to try to understand before I respond. I used to react.
Yeah.
And not pause and think about it before I responded. So in a roundabout way, like, instead of like what my internal dialogue always heard was like, you're attacking me, you're attacking me, you're attacking me. Now I can be like, well, like, you actually care enough to tell me the truth, right? It's a different narrative today. I can lean into the loving part of that today, which I used to not be able to see that. I'd be like, bro, why are you trying to F with me? Are you effing with me? Bro, I'm on my way to go. You're in my way. You don't love me. Get out of my way, right? You got $20. It helped me let go of the needing to be right all the time, bro. Like, as an addict, I need to be right all the time, and it changed that narrative to maybe, you might be right, right? Like let me think about that for a little while and process that and get back to you. And it helps me understand that other person's perspective tenfold. It allows me to see that, like, other people are allowed to be different, right? Being spiritual means I can meet that person where they're at. I say this a lot, like, the most spiritual person in the room is the one who can be most honest with how unspiritual they can be.
Yeah.
It's about meeting them where they're at, right? And as long as I'm kind of keeping my side of the street clean, like, we're gonna be able to meet up at the at our perspective fences and be okay with everything, right? There's no like, hey, you owe me $10. Hey, you didn't cut your side of the bushes last week. You didn't take your trash out. Like, there's none of that. It allows me to be honest and open-minded naturally, right? I'm not forcing any of that shit, which everything was forced, right? If I could force myself through a good situation, like, I would just get to the other side, like, fuck, I made it through. I made it through.
Made it through.
Made it through, bro. Let me get unspiritual quick. Let me get some drugs in my body and get super unspiritual, because I have been too in my good feels, bro. Like, there's too much of that shit going on, right? Like, where's the ball gonna drop, right? Like, let me make the ball drop, right? I'm gonna take the control into the situation. I'm gonna go hide out somewhere. I'm gonna take that ball into the situation and allow people to worry about me now, because I need control. Sick, man, real sick. And we talk about forgiveness a lot in here. It's becoming on the forefront of my mind as Milan has diving more deep into like the self-forgiveness part being an issue for him. Like, I'm really realizing that is something that I need to hone in on too. And that forgiveness is the final form of love, right? If I want to be a loving person, I want to continue staying that really, really loving person that I am and growing on those things. I got to be able to forgive. I got to continue to get better at forgiving other people and myself in the moment, and forgiveness requires a level of open-mindedness. I don't care where you're at, right? I don't care who you are. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna forgive, you have to be open-minded. It's in some way, right? But with that being said, in the forgiveness lane, like that open-minded piece, the open-minded piece allows me to understand that people are not perfect. They're imperfect, just like me. Right. I'm trying to remind people I'm not perfect. Well, I need to remind myself they're not perfect too. Right.
Yeah.
And they're learning too. So that's where we get all these resentments to like people aren't living up to what we think how we think they should be. Right. And then it gets real tricky for me because, that's where we build resentments on what? based on nothing that has to do with us,
Yeah.
or situations that will help us in any way, right? Or them, right? We're just loading that backpack up. It's already full though. But we're gonna still
Yeah.
try to load some more shit. We got another little side
Right.
pocket. A side pocket we can throw a couple more pebbles in. Well, that's a heart-shaped rock. We'll throw that bitch in there too.
Yeah.
Come on,
That's my
man.
backpack.
Come on, man. We know. So forgiveness gives me free, that open-mindedness into forgiveness allows me to continue to stay free, right? Freedom, choices, right?
Yeah.
Freedom. That's for me today. Where, freedom is choices for me. And so it also shows me that how like emotional honesty, like that emotional honesty piece, like that's a two-way street. Um, like I used to expect others to be honest with me every time while I lied my ass off to their face.
Yeah. Yeah. Get mad when you found out they lied to you.
Y'all with me? Y'all with me? I'll be like, bro,
Yeah.
you told me 25 things and you told me a little white lie on one of them, and I'm gonna lay into that
Yeah.
ass. Meanwhile, I haven't said a truthful thing to you the whole time,
Yeah.
bro. And I'm not even looking at it from that point of view. Like it's not even there. Like I'm lying. So why would I even expect you to be honest with me? There's none of that.
Yeah.
It's just a layered aggressive event for me until I get out of you what I need, right? Like it's wild. It's great now that I can not do that anymore, and I can literally use my communication skills to help people now, right? I know I'm very good at communication, right? I can use that ruthlessness and turn it into like spiritual uh
Yeah.
goodness, or I can turn it spiritual now. I don't just have to like not be who I am. I can still be a very like aggressive, but like in a loving way, like aggressively loving, spiritually hope. But it's just not using and not taking
He's
your
like, I
money.
love you.
And yes, and not like take this, and not like, I'm not like breaking into your safe and then my phone gets caught in there and then my phone's
Yeah.
going off in your
Oh,
safe and we're going, how does anybody know that other than me the code to the safe? Yeah,
I
wild,
still
man.
randomly giggle about that.
Doing that shit no more, man. I love you guys. I
Yeah.
rambled on a
Love you
little
too.
bit. But it
No,
helps me
that was
respect my
great.
boundaries, right? Mine and theirs. There's
Yeah.
boundaries there. Being open-minded allows me to respect both sides.
I liked how you talked about being open-minded about other people's response or like, like I was saying, like my husband not forgiving me. But like when you do that, it's because we don't have control of everyone else. And like they got to heal just as much as we have to heal. And there's so many times that like I wanted to like shake my husband and be like, like this is the program I've learned. Like this, I want to tell him how to do something or give advice or suggestions.
Ooh.
And I've learned, I mean, for him in particular, but in people in general, that like I couldn't make him do something differently. I had to just do it myself
Yep.
and let him see it, you know?
That's how you
And
inspire
it's,
him and others, is living how you live today.
yeah. Oh, and my husband, he drops a program on me all the time. He sent me something. I'm gonna send it to you guys. It was on TikTok, and it was I don't remember the guy's name, but anyways, you'll hear it. It's 10 minutes long, but it is fucking inspirational. And he says educational because but to me it's inspirational.
That's cool.
And he loved
Alien
it so
talk.
much. Yeah, and it was funny when I listened to it. A lot of it's about addiction and aftermath and stuff like that. And it made me kind of like my heart kind of beat a little extra because it was like that's the program in him. Like
Mm-hmm.
it affects him more than he would like to know. But I don't point it out because I don't want to ruin it, you
Who
know.
said my man's not working a program? Who said
Yeah,
my man
right.
ain't working a program? My man working a
It's
program up in here.
it was amazing. I was like 10 minutes long. Okay, I'll try to listen to it. And I was
Did you,
like, I looked the guy up afterwards. And Nicolette says she listens to this guy at night because he's very soothing voice. She's like, I just hope that when I fall asleep, it gets embedded into my brain. He's so good.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'll send it to you guys.
Send
Shout
It's
out
it.
to
legit.
Nicolette.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 She was pretty excited. I was like, Thomas found that actually. Okay, Milan, I'm gonna ask you a question.
I'm ready.
Okay. What situation challenges your open-mindedness the most? And what do you do when that happens?
Ooh. Let's see. What challenges it the most? I mean, I think obviously stuff that makes me angry still. But what situations are those? It's when I'm tired, when I'm
Mm,
exhausted, when I'm sick, and things are going wrong. When
yeah.
it's more of a lesson feeling than a blessing, and then it's just like, whoa, why can't we? Like everything was so perfect because it was all
Mm,
lining up to my expectations, and and then that's usually when I gotta step back and be like, whoa, where is my motivations here? Where is my preferences? What am I literally trying to control? And why is, like, why is this making me angry today? Because like quite often, I mean, my life is kind of a repetition of patterns. Like I get up, it's the same family, it's my same job.
mhm.
It has little different faces on it. And yesterday was amazing, and today could be a complete hassle, and so it's when I'm askew that I find myself less open-minded, when I have
Mhm.
less brain capacity. Like this week, um, I have pneumonia, and I am running at half mast. Like it's giving me a lot of sympathy for other people because I do so much. And now it's like doing half of what I do is just exhausting. Like I'm just exhausted. And then by the time I'm rolling into home, I'm just like, please, just, just like let there be no challenges for 45 minutes till I can crawl into bed.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like I don't have the strength to cope with it in the right way, And the same thing 12 hours later after sleeping can be a breeze.
Yeah.
So, right now my greatest struggles are just when I'm reaching that point of exhaustion every day. And, like, unfortunately, I thought, oh, I'm going to lick this in 5 days once I get the antibiotics and blah, 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 blah. And other people I see, they're like, yeah, I had 7 weeks of pneumonia last year. And I'm like, 7 weeks? I ain't got 7 weeks to be exhausted.
Yeah.
like,
Who's got 7 weeks?
I might have had 7 days. Like, I'm like, I missed
Wow.
a podcast. Okay, do you not
Yeah,
know
that
what's
was
going on?
big. That
But
was big.
like, I'm having a really hard time surrendering to the timetable of healing.
Mm,
And as much as I value my health, it's like I'm putting my program and my schedule on a higher pedestal than maintaining how
yeah.
I'm feeling. And and, and I'm not really sure what to do right now because it's just like lying there is not healthy for my psyche. I'm doing
Yeah.
too much is not healthy for my physical body.
Yeah.
So I'm like in a really weird twisted place these days because uh I'm I'm full of disappointment for myself. And that doesn't lead me to be so awesome to everybody else.
I
Well, we
love you
think
though.
you're awesome
I do.
anyways.
I think you're magical.
Yeah.
Well, I love you guys and I like that a lot, okay? I'm like
You're kind of a big deal, bro. I love you so much,
Yeah,
man. I
you
love you
are.
so
You
much.
are.
I'm
Yep.
just happy to be here. Like it's what like doing these like now that I have enough air to breathe and enough throat to talk again.
Thank you, God.
Like
Yes.
doing these isn't something that's making me feel horrible.
Yeah.
Like this is a blessing. This is like the soul food I need for the rest of the day, right? So
Yeah.
Eat it
yeah,
up.
Yep.
yeah, this is amazing. Thank you for
I
that
love you.
question. That
Yeah.
was great. I don't even know if I answered it, but I tried.
I
No,
have
it
no
was
idea
great.
where we're at either. Don't even know. Did we just get here?
We
What's
just
up?
got here.
What's up,
All right,
guys?
Andrew.
Welcome. Yep.
He's like, welcome. Let's
Hmm.
start this off.
I'm silly.
All right, you are silly. Okay, Andrew, what situations challenges your open-mindedness the most? And what do you do when that happens?
That's a great question. When you asked that the first time and Milan was answering it, you gave a great answer, Milan. I was thinking of so many things, so many different things, man. Like too many things to even count, really. What really, the first thing that kind of popped off in my mind was when somebody doesn't or gives me feedback that like I don't want to hear. Um, that challenges me immediately, right? Like I still take that shit personally. Um, like if somebody's pointing out like a shortcoming of mine or something that, if somebody's pointing out a shortcoming, like you best damn be sure, like I've thought about that shortcoming. If you're pointing it out, I've thought about it before, and I'm either trying to cover it
Yeah.
up or I don't think I have it, and I'm just hidden in plain sight with it, right? And that used to kind of, I used to want to burn the house down when shit like that would happen, right? Like I would make that situation mine by running my mouth or doing something stupid. Um, thinking they don't know what they're talking about. That was my default. Like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, bro. Leave me alone. You know,
Yeah.
why are you even talking to me? I'm doing straight. Like, I never asked for your help to begin with. But what I can do now is like I can pause. There's that pause and respond instead of reacting. And I've got to ask myself every time when I'm feeling that feeling, like, is there truth here that I don't want to see, and can I grow from it? Before I do something stupid, right? I got to check my
Mm.
references with myself. I got to go internal with it, because like true growth requires discomfort, guys and gals. I don't know if you're just getting here and you don't know that. True growth is going to require you to be uncomfortable. And we've all survived our emotions this far, right? So like don't like get down on yourself for feeling bad, right? Like or like not feeling like you can do something. Like this too shall pass, right? Um, you know, in that moment of pause, like I can pray for humility and clarity, right? There's that pray, like I can pause. What does pause stand for? Pray and use
Mm.
step 11. Pause, man. I can tap in with God, man. I can tap in with him, try to get some kind of serenity going on here. Some kind of good feels right before I make a decision, because like I can act on impulse. Impulse was my reaction before. And
Yeah.
it usually got me in trouble, but I didn't care before. But I care now. Right? I care about who I am and what I look like when I'm acting certain ways, right? And I care about the people that I love, right? I surround myself with people who call me out when I'm acting not that way, right? So getting off on it a little bit. When I feel emotionally triggered or misunderstood, that shit throws me off. Like my emotions will get me every time. Like if I'm emotionally riled up because of something that somebody does, like I used to be like, they don't get me. They don't get me. I'm
Mm.
the
You
only
don't know
I'm
me.
alone. I'm all alone in this world, right? Like people always turn on me. That was my internal dialogue on that part, right? But that's just, it just hits old trauma, right? It hits like them old survival instincts that I act on impulsively, right? I can try to pause first, right? I can slow down that urgency in my mind, right? Actively. I can actively slow it down, right? I'm not trying to
Mm.
catch up. Like I can actively slow it down. And that helps me like practice empathy too, not just being like sympathy and practicing like sympathetic actions. Like there can be a level of like, I'm better than you there on that. Like I can practice empathy. If I can wear your
Yeah.
shoes, to the best of my ability, and then act. Um, and then I can proceed calmly instead of withdrawing. Right? I used to withdraw every time. I was just, bro, like you wouldn't even know I left, bro. And then like I would be gone, and I was real good at that too. Real good at that. And then I would just wait long enough for it to me feel like it had passed, right? So I could ask you for something
Yeah.
else or use your facilities or whatever I was doing, man. When it was the transaction, right? I was always in that transactional bullshit, survival shit, and we talk about expectations a lot in this program. And so when my expectations aren't met, I have an
Yeah.
issue, right?
That's me.
Expectations are just premeditated resentments. Well, I'll
Yep.
drive that shit home every day, man. So I've got to be, again, stay spiritual enough to understand you have your own process, right? I got to meet you where you're at. And those expectations, what they do is they just tighten my mind. They tighten everything up. I'm not like, I'm not, it doesn't allow me to be loose. Like I'm not free
Mm,
flowing when I've got expectations just building up. Right. So,
yeah.
um, in that moment when I think about it, I gotta pause and I gotta shift my perspective most of the time. It's just about a shift in my perspective in the moment, or I got to get out, or I got to remove myself in a healthy way, right? Like it's nice seeing you guys. I love you. Give everybody a hug and a kiss and be gone. Um, because I've got to ask myself, like, how much of this is my frustration because I'm not getting a certain outcome in a situation, right? There's my control, right? I love we talk about this shit because I'll think about this stuff, but until I like actually talk about it and like verbalize it, it almost doesn't become real. It's just like these thoughts I'm having, right? But when I'm out here talking about it with you guys, I can really, really in the moment allow these things to happen, right? We're not just talking about these things. Like these are things that we like talk ourselves into better living, right? We can't think ourselves into it. We got to actually do it. And talking about it is a layer to it for me. Um, I think I answered the question.
Yep.
I'm going on a couple
No,
of
you
things.
did.
Someone else's pace doesn't have to match mine, right? I've got to be okay with that, and then I'm going to be a lot better off going forward, right?
Yeah.
I want to say one thing. When you were talking about somebody pointing out your shortcoming, right? Bryant, their ice storm, he's taking a counseling course right now. Like he's going to be a certified counselor
Love that dude. Proud of that dude, man.
In just over a year. And one of the things that they had done, I guess, I don't know. He came to me one day and he said, what's what's my worst trait? He actually asked me. And then I was like,
Uh-oh.
Mm.
whoa. And I'm like, that's really brave. And then so afterwards, I was like, well, what's mine? You know? And
It's brave to answer that though, too. It's a brave thing to
Yeah, it
answer that
is.
question.
it was it was amazing though, because like I think personally I villainize myself more than other people do. And
Absolutely.
and that experience
We
was
all do.
um it was great. It made me realize, first of all, how much I love him and how little I actually have against him, and also that somebody else can have that feeling for me. It's a good
Yeah.
exercise, and I just wanted to mention that because it's worth jumping off that cliff, as scary as
Might
it
have to
is.
have like a special podcast when it's like four of us that we all do that to each
Oh,
other.
Yeah.
yeah,
Ooh.
ooh,
I'm
yeah.
almost nervous for it,
That
but
would
that would
spill.
be really
That would
good.
fill up 2 hours quick.
Yeah.
Fill up 2 hours quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
We,
Whoa.
we need to think about how to roll that into like a little part series or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. That you know what? I think
It'd be
that would be
fun.
great. Yeah.
Be fun.
Oof.
Like, who do you want to bring on
Definitely
to ask that question
yeah,
to?
Oh.
definitely educational.
Oh no, I don't feel safe with enough people to do that to everybody.
No doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt. That's where you got to really think about that.
100%. I feel safe enough with you guys. Felt
Yeah.
safe enough
Yeah.
with Bryant.
Yeah.
I'm not
There's a
just like
lot of people I
no
wouldn't even do
rando.
that.
Hey, dude,
No,
what do you think
no,
about?
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Uh-uh.
No,
Yeah.
there's got to be
No.
some love and trust happening in that circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But I like that though.
Oh yeah,
I love it. Love it. Love it. Are you
Hmm.
whose question? Where we at?
Brandy's asking Brandy.
I'm gonna ask me. I'm gonna
Brandy's
ask
old
myself. All right.
freedom.
Okay, what situations challenge my open-mindedness the most, and what do I do when that happens? Um, you guys touch on a lot of stuff that I could definitely relate to. But when it comes to, challenges, I'll start with well, not small stuff, but what I heard from you guys, it made sense to me. Like, you know, um, negative feedback. But like today, I want to know when I'm not on top of something, or if I'm doing something, because something might feel right to me, but to the world, it's like that's pretty selfish, or like that was rude or something. Or if I change a little bit in my routine or who I am in my recovery, because it does show. It shows when our character defects come out, and I don't want to always acknowledge them, but I want to hear it. I need to hear it. Um, when you talked about being misunderstood, that's a big one, because I went so long feeling misunderstood in my addiction. I didn't understand myself either. That like today, it's like I don't want to be it doesn't feel good to be misunderstood, and I'm very closed-minded when it comes to stuff. It's like, well, wait, like these are the facts. What do you mean? And so it's uncomfortable. But I definitely today just try to take in what is said and learn something from it. Like what can I do differently? That's a big one. If things aren't going right up, what can I do differently then? Maybe I can start it here and return to have a change. Um, situations when it comes to my chronic pain, man, I am not an open-minded person when it hurts real bad. Like you're saying about being sick, like when I'm physically ill or I have a pain, it mentally messes with me,
So
which does
hard.
not yeah, it really is. It's like you got to watch both of them. And I don't find myself that open-minded when I'm like that because I'm almost like a tunnel vision on my pain. And everything else is like a too big, it's a nuisance, like I just don't want to deal with this.
Pain can make me really self-centered.
Yeah. Oh man.
In a way that nothing else can,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's so true. Like there's times that like when I don't like to be known as the one that needs to be in the bubble or the cripple girl or whatever like that. But if I'm in pain, oh, I throw it out there. And not
Man.
always verbally, but I sure do count it up in my head. Like, like if walk in my shoes for a day. And so pain really messes with my open-mindedness. But today, like in my recovery and my program has taught me, and one of the big things that like what Andrew said, like expectations or premeditated resentments, that term right there helped me so much with resentments. And when I'm feeling resentful, I'm not being open-minded, that's for sure. So there's like those are real life challenges. Those are things we can't, it's like life is life and we can't get past that stuff. Just because we get clean or sober doesn't mean that things are going to be smooth. It's all about how we deal with them now. And if I don't deal with it correctly, I want to learn from it. Like what could I have done differently? And I would tell you when it comes up again, it's definitely I think about the time before. And it's slow changes. Like I'd like to think that in the middle of a challenge where I'm not feeling open-minded, I stop and I do the correct things. Today I do 50-50. There's times I look back and like, fuck, I could have done that so different. Like my ego or my defensiveness came up first. And when I feel like that, like I said, I'm not open-minded because I'm thinking about me, 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 me. And and that's like being misunderstood, like they don't get it, but I mean, I don't feel like I need to worry about if I'm misunderstood if I understand myself. And understand that like I'm going to stay open-minded and teachable even if I don't like it. And I don't like change. Change really challenges my open-mindedness. And again, it goes back to like probably a healthier way of saying I'm open-minded as long as you agree with me. Like I don't like change. Like I'm a very, like you're saying, like, very routine person. I will do the same thing every day. Like in my brain, it's like, okay, this is when I do this. This is when I do that. And it's so when things change, I have to like retrain myself. But I've fought change before and it's turned out fine. Like, okay, Brandy, like I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because this is what we're gonna do. Okay. And it turns out okay. I still have the feelings about it, but it doesn't have to be my way, you know? It's not that my way is not like the right way to do it. My input's important, all of our input's important on things, and I don't want to ever like uh, you know, put myself in a lower category for something because I could still be a part of the change. And but I've had to sit and think about it. Sometimes I got to sit for a couple days and think about it. It's not like let me just reflect for 5 minutes. I got to really process it. Like I allow myself to not like that change and then allow myself to see why the change could be good and just go with it. And a lot of times it's smooth. So yeah, change, man, I don't like change at all. And and another thing, a situation that challenges my open-mindedness. So I talked about this in the meeting last night. Like I'm an addict. I'm an addict. I'm addicted to more. It doesn't really matter what it is. It can be a problem for me. And I've challenged or not challenged, sorry. I've struggled with weight. I mean, my whole life. I say that because I had a mean, skinny sister, and but I really wasted all my skinny years thinking I was fat. When I think about it now, my license will always say 160. I don't give a fuck. Um,
That's awesome.
and but today, like
What's in your
I,
wallet?
you know, 160-pound Brandy is. And but it's like I struggle with like failing at being healthy. And I don't remain open-minded when it comes to like doing things differently in that aspect because I want to just like I want to just I say feed myself, but I mean that, but like I'm trying I just want to feed myself, but like I want to make myself feel good. So like I know I like, so and I love food. I do. But
Love ice cream,
it's
boy. Good God
I love ice
Almighty.
cream. I
Oof,
love coffee ice cream with Heath in it.
oof, oof.
So good.
I need it.
But I'm hurting myself at the same time. And
It's
I
like poison for me, and I love it so much.
yeah, and I need to do what
That's
I
a little
like.
harsh. A little harsh.
Yeah.
Poison.
No,
I
like
say that I
I
say
can
the
prove
devil
it.
made
I
the
can
ice
prove it.
cream. Well,
Okay.
like I've gotten to it's a health thing now. Like,
Mm-mm.
no matter what, it's not a vanity thing so much. And my husband, he loves me just the way I am, so I'm not worried about that. But when your doctor's like, your glucose is high, your blood pressure is high, your what else, cholesterol is high. I
But I'm
physically, I
not.
gotta do,
But I'm
but
not
I'm not. That's what I
snitching.
should have.
Let's go.
That's what I should have said. But that's my justification for eating whatever I want because I'm not getting high anymore. So I gotta have this pleasure somewhere. Well, anyways, that's not. I need to be open minded to doing the right thing continuously when it comes to my health. And like I was saying last night, like I still am gonna allow myself to have ice cream on the weekend one day because I have to have something to look forward to. But that's my way of being able to do something with the fact that I didn't want to be open minded to thinking that I could be healthy. And like it's just this is who I am. I did the same thing with drugs. This is who I am, you know?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I don't have to settle for that either. So I need to be open minded to the fact that that I gotta change some shit and I gotta stick to it because I'm the type of person, I'm gonna go on a tangent and I'm done. I'm the type of person that loses like 5 pounds and was like, oh, I can eat whatever I want now, and it's like,
He gained
no,
10.
yeah, no, it's like, no, I need to keep doing what I'm doing because I feel good, you
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
feel good. And like, just like drugs, they make you feel like shit, but you do them anyways. And when you do them, then you feel guilty. I swear to God, sugar's like that, you guys. I'm telling you.
Oh,
It's
sugar, like alcohol is just refined sugar.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's a great point.
it literally is like first it's fermented.
Fermented
That's like
rotten
opium,
sugar.
right? Like, and then it's like
yeah.
heroin is just like hard liquor. Like it's
It's
totally,
turning it into
absolutely
Yeah,
poison. It
a
turns it into
harder
poison.
yeah,
form. Yeah.
You hit
yeah,
on change. You hit on change. What does change stand for, Brandy? Choosing honesty allows new growth every day. Come on with it. I have
yeah.
another
I
one for
love that.
change. Connection helps all navigate growth every day.
Boom.
Let's
Ooh,
go.
Let's
I love
go.
it. Let's
Are you ready
go.
for a
That's
question,
my
Mr.
answer.
Andrew?
Born ready, sir.
Okay, the AA Big Book says we stood at the turning point. Hope-mindedness is what lets us take that step. How do you recognize when your turning points arrive?
Well, I know it doesn't say hope and mindedness in that book, even though I never read it. But
No, I end of quote,
I
stood at
know,
the turning point.
I know. I love you, man. That was great. That was great. Please ask the end of the question because I have no idea what you asked.
How do you recognize when your turning points arrive?
Wow.
Well, it's a
when my turning points arise, you know,
Arrive.
arrive. Today it's when I I slow down in the urgency. When I'm able to slow that urgency down in my mind, right? Like I'm able to actively do that, and check my motives and my fears, and ask myself, something like, is this situation, is it me being unhealed, right, and acting the way I used to act in the past, or is this me acting in a healthy way? Practicing empathy and try to see another person's intentions, not just their actions. And try to communicate calmly instead of, I hit on this earlier, instead of withdrawing. I was really good at withdrawing. It was very, very easy for me to just withdraw myself from the situation, not knowing how bad I was hurting other people around me. Lack of action felt better than doing something wrong, even though I didn't even know that was going to be wrong, what I was going to do. Like I remember just really layering up that shit to the point where I knew going into it I was going to outthink myself out of it. So staying open-minded, right, in certain moments allows me to repair relationships rather than destroy them. I used to destroy them every time. Like I can actually work on them and repair them today. I have a problem too, Milan, and I'm just getting off on it a little bit. But when my expectations aren't met, like if I have like I know we hit on that too, and I don't know why I kind of keep going back to that, but I'll think I already know the answer, and like if you come at it and I already think like I know the answer, like I will. I usually have an issue. I find myself having a problem, because then it has me this belief on myself, like I'm not enough. It goes back to that, like I'm not enough. I'm trying to catch up all the time, and then I get wrapped up in my old way of thinking, and that's just my disease, man. It's my disease every time. It's my nervous system choosing familiar chaos over unfamiliar peace. Right? We talk about that a lot, man. Like my nervous system is going to choose that familiarity of chaos every time. So if I can make a situation black and white from it initially starting gray, like I'm going to do it because I'm an addict, right? But I've got a 12-step program. I can work on myself. I could correct these things today. I could correct my actions, living amends, right? I can act accordingly every time going forward. And that's how I know I'm different. Yeah, that's it. I don't have to go
I
long.
love it.
Love you, man.
Oh, it's great. Brian, the AA Big Book says, we stood at the turning point. End of quote. Hope-mindedness lets us take that step. How do you recognize when your turning points arrive?
So I've read that book, and yeah, get a dictionary, that's for sure. But
I actually have the AA dictionary. They make a little dictionary.
Yeah. Yep. But the turning point, I think, like, in the beginning, and is definitely was when my husband was like, "You've been doing this shit for 10 years." That was like, I still feel that moment, and I knew something had to change. I didn't change right then, but like I knew, like I was saying before, I didn't have any I didn't think I could change, so I didn't know of any change. But when that happened, I knew I had to do something.
Ooh, look who just popped in here. Ooh, somebody just popped
Ooh,
in.
it's our friend. It's our
Oh, I know that
Oh, look at
dude.
him.
I
All
know
the
that
way from
dude.
West
friend.
I know
Virginia.
that dude.
Hey,
How did he get the
hey.
passcode? How did he get the passcode? Who gave him the passcode?
I didn't need a
Ooh.
passcode. He's
Sorry, Brady.
magical
I saw him pop
motherfucker.
in here. I didn't want to
No, that's
interrupt you.
okay. That's okay. That's all right. All right. Well, should I keep going, or should
Yeah,
we let
you keep
JJ?
going, and then I'll
Okay.
ask JJ, and then
If he's
Okay.
open-minded, he can stay.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. I love it. But the turning point, I think I find a lot of turning points in my recovery still. Like I get why, even though I came into this program married, I get why they say don't date for the first year, because you're different a year later. My first year, it was like, I was just, obviously I had one goal, not to use. And then more and more, I start to see more about myself that I know I need to change. And so I feel like I'm open-minded to, for there to be like multiple turning points in my life, because I'm not going to be perfect ever. I don't want to be. It's impossible anyways. It sounds boring, really. But, for me, it's like, there's things like I need to fucking do this differently. Like I was just saying, like my health, I need to do something differently, and it took me going to the doctor and not getting the best results, not bad, but not good results. Um, Things I can change. It's not like things are unchangeable. Like there's things I can't change and there's things I can do. And so I want it to be a turning point for me to be able to stay open-minded on moving forward instead of being like, it's just what I'm going to do, Like I so much was like, either I'm going to be fat and happy or skinny and miserable. And I want either one of those really. I mean, I'd like to be happy and I'd like to be skinny, but at the same time, I just, you know, so I need to find that instead of looking at it like that. Like if I'm going to be happy, I'm just going to eat whatever the fuck I want. Doesn't matter what it does to my body. But if I'm going to be skinny, I need to be miserable and eat hardly anything. That's not how it goes.
You can't have your
That's
cake
not
and
how
eat
it
it
goes.
too and still be skinny.
Well,
Straight up. Oh,
Come
I'm like,
on.
right?
You see what I did
And
there?
yeah, and so it's my turning point is to find that medium. I want to be able to enjoy life and everything it brings, but I don't have to treat it like I do my drugs and like I need all of this. Like, and I need to finish all of this before I can go to bed because I can't leave any. Um, so it's to me, I want to find that middle ground. And so I need to stay open-minded that that's a possibility. It doesn't have to be not black or white. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You know, I know both. And I want to be able to, this turning point for me to be able to go on the straight instead of being like, I don't care if I don't need to be, skinny to be happy. That's for sure. I want to be healthy.
we call that scappy
Scappy
or fad.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I was super skinny when I was sick with my infection in my leg and,
Skinny
like super
fat.
skinny. And
Skinny fat.
my husband's like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And so, my delusional ass, because I was getting high and I'm like, "Fuck, what do you mean?
He thinks
I'm
he looks
fucking
sick. He thinks he looks
skinny."
sick. He thinks he looks
Yeah.
sick.
Oh,
Yeah. And so it's, it's definitely something I've been able to accomplish things that I put my mind to and I stay open-minded to and I have hope for. So all I got to do is I got to continually surrender those things that get in my way. And it tell you what, this last week it's not just once a day, it's multiple moments, and that's what I would do. Like I don't have the desire to use drugs, and I haven't, since I stopped using. But I know that feeling from when it comes to food and the war that goes on in my mind. And so I'll leave it right there, though.
Woo! I love that.
Love you,
Love you,
Brandi.
Ben. Mr. J, Double J from West Virginia. The AA Big Book says, we stood at the turning point, end of quote. Open-mindedness is what lets us take that step. How do you recognize when your turning points arrive, J Double J?
Before you answer that, I have to hit you with the hot take that open-mindedness has gone down on a level because you need willingness. That was our hot take at the beginning of the podcast. So going into your answer, just know, for me, is the hot take. Open-mindedness is not as important as I thought it was. That's my hot take. Go ahead.
But don't let that filter your answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I won't. It will influence my thinking, and I will stay open-minded to let it.
Are you in a van right now?
By the
I'm
river.
in the van.
Down by the
Yes,
river.
I love it. I could tell it was so vanny up above your head.
Yeah.
I'm in a parking lot of the hospital, and I'm so
You
grateful.
literally are the clearest you've ever been. You
Yes.
used to do all your
Sound booth.
podcasts in the van.
It's a sound booth, the van sound booth.
There we go. Well,
West Virginia sound booth.
if I knew how to put my recovery podcast backdrop up, I would. Maybe Andrew will teach
No,
me
I
that
like
next
the
time.
van.
Get you a magnet. We'll get you a magnet to slap up back there.
That's great.
Right. It's all good. Standing. How do I know?
How do you recognize when your turning points arrive? Like the book says, we stood at the turning point.
Right. Well, it becomes obvious because it comes out of a place of confusion and sort of frustration and maybe no direction, and all of a sudden, there's a light comes on. My very first meeting was where the hope, like I didn't know what the problem was, and I was told what the problem was, the disease of addiction, and that really gave me a hope immediately because it brought me out of the darkness, out of my own confusion, out of the freaking woods, and let me know that I was in a part of the woods and that there's a pathway out because I was told both those things at the same time. So, and I was very willing to move forward with that. So, you know, recognizing it, it's sort of like anticipating going through, life's a challenge. It's just a series of events that happen. And, I just have a desire to freaking move through them. And seems like, I go through moments of understanding, and then it's a matter of trying to understand, right? And if my mind isn't open, I was thinking about as listening to Brandi, and I was thinking about when I got diagnosed with Hep C, 30 freaking years ago, and it was killing people. It was, the new killing disease is what was on Time magazine, right? And I was told the protocol to take this chemotherapy, alpha interferon, and if it would either work, it wouldn't work. If it didn't work, you get on the liver list, and then you get a liver transplant if you don't die before that. And that was like a pretty fucked up prognosis, right? And so I think there was a degree of open-mindedness that really worked for me because I was looking for any alternatives. Our recovery program is clearly an alternative. I tried to quit so many times. I knew there was a problem, but I didn't know what it was. And when I was told I had the disease of addiction and there was a way through it, that Hep C crossroads, right? I heard, because I'm paying attention, my sister told me about someone that had Hep C that went a different route. And I had a desire to freaking live, right? It's the only requirement to participate in this program is the desire. And that's so important, And I think with the desire sort of comes the opportunity for hope. I've been thinking about our topic, and I don't know if I'm answering the question. I can't help but think of Andrew putting in the willingness component. I can't get away from open-mindedness, right? Open-mindedness, right? Drop the H, it's open-mindedness. It's so critical that I be willing to change, that I have an open mind. And the H stands for hope. That's a result. But if I'm not honest, the H stands for honesty. I have to be, that's a first step transaction, right? Is that I've got to admit what the truth is. So if I'm not honest, my mind will not be open. My mind will stay closed to believing the bullshit that got me here, So that open-mindedness encompasses honesty, and another H word, right, is like just hidden right in open-mindedness. What a trip. I love our language. It's like
I was tripping.
I know that dude.
There's so many ways to fucking get high, man. And putting the chemicals down is the fucking beginning of, I love how AA says we're rocketed into the fourth dimension, because it's like, okay, like, I've been trying to get there for freaking a couple decades, Jones, and so if I be clean, because this shit is real, this doesn't, all the snow's turned to water. I used to have nightmares of a bowl of cocaine and my sweat would drip in it. And obviously, I should watch this because for needle freaks, this is still a perfect daydream. But I would watch my nose candy turn to water, right? And I would like totally bum out. It would be like, wow, it's gone. And that's really what the bags and the bottles will always run out, and there's not enough of them for me. These spiritual principles and this adventure, like hope and mindedness, it took me 3 decades and change to hear that, little concept that was a freaking accident, So the other H word is humility. I don't get open-minded unless, I'm right-sized. Because if I'm under the heap, if I'm feeling less, if I've got consumed that awful emptiness that our literature talks about, another symptom of the disease of addiction. Like, I'm so grateful, to have my mind open to get filled with truths, not, fantasy fear, not, things that may not be true. And I'm grateful for that. If I'm too full of myself, then, fuck it, you can't tell me anything, because I know what it is. So the humility is such a gift, to keep my mind open, and the hope continues to freaking flood in, and I mean, that's the dope for me today, joy, peace, serenity, hope. Thank you. If that's an answer, Milan, I love you.
Woo!
Beautiful.
So glad
I love you, JJ, and
You slid in perfectly.
I like you slid in like right in the perfect slot at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Man, but you are my brother, and I love you.
Love it.
We got a higher power that knows what's going on. I'm so grateful that I got to be, with the family, and the brothers. This dude who's in the hospital room and may not live today, And I think about every breath I take, someone and more than thousands of people on the planet are taking their very last breath.
Yeah.
Like it's over. And this chap is like 88. And a year and a half ago, he's riding motorcycles with us in his Honda Goldwing, and bingo, my ass is on his tour pack. Bingo, my ass. He was skiing, he played racquetball, and all of a sudden, man, he's consumed with pancreatic and liver cancer. And
what's his name?
So his name is Chap Richardson.
Prayers out to him and his family.
Yeah.
Big time.
And his family, and he's just a beautiful dude. Yeah. And he loves you, man. He's all about, particularly AA recovery. I met him, a few decades ago, and so it's I'm so grateful. That's what I was saying, is to be able to have participated in that, and then I beg forgiveness of the folks that, it was time for me to be able to participate with you guys, because these concepts and ideas are life-saving, right? I'm here to learn, and I ran into to our H&I chair for some reason, sitting in the lobby of the hospital here, and Marvin, and these
God's economy, no waste.
That's no waste. So I'm really grateful, and I appreciate the opportunity to slide in, because God knows what we don't, and I appreciate the opportunity to observe it. So
as long as you're not sliding in keister packages to the program, we're good. All good, Ron. It's good with me. You're good with me. As long as you're not sliding them in here, you don't leave it on a voicemail of mine, I'm gonna be okay with the whole deal.
No,
Keister packages.
You can slide them in, and I'll still let you on the show. Don't worry.
You, JJ. I love you, JJ.
Yeah.
Well,
I love you so much.
That was
we,
good. That was
we
good.
don't have, we don't have to be so
Check that man at the
covert.
door. Check that man. Did you check him in the waiting room before you let him in to take his keister packages?
Brandy's
Make sure he
doing
didn't
a
have his keister
cavity
package?
search.
That's right.
She brought
Yeah,
her
no.
gloves. She brings out the
And get it,
gloves.
and
Yeah.
get it straight. Get it straight. I wasn't taking them in. I was doing drops around the penitentiary for the other dudes to
It's
take
the
it
story.
inside.
Hey,
It's so funny.
is the story changing?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it better change to the truth because now I'm hearing what everyone's hearing, man. Is I got my butt loaded. No, that's not what it was.
Hoopty
No,
doodle.
No
Hoopty
pun
doodle.
intended.
Oh, my
No
goodness.
pun
man.
intended.
Okay.
I was
Literally.
I was loading up chocolate milk cartons with keister packages,
Okay.
Yeah.
4 of them, and dropped them around the penitentiary.
Slicky boy. I
That's
tell you
great.
what.
That's what it
My
was.
slicky boy.
You
Where
know,
we
but
at?
that,
I
you know,
love you. I love you, bro.
it-
So much.
yeah,
I feel like
but
we could
that's-
talk about this longer.
And
Well,
we got to
better
tell
not,
before we
'cause
leave.
It
Oh.
kept me out. It kept me from taking the message into the federal pen. So
Yeah.
it's really,
Yeah, that's unfortunate, bro.
yeah, it's not worth chattering.
You know, maybe you just needed more time in your life for something else, though, that you don't know yet. You know,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
you know, you might have the expectation to go back in there, but maybe there's something else now.
I heard
Yeah.
what doesn't work out a lot of times really did work out. Someone told
Yeah.
me, right? Like what
Well,
works out really doesn't
Yeah.
work. It does work out.
Yeah.
It's probably, it creates a space for somebody else to get responsible and step up.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask myself this question. The AA book, Big Book says we stood at the turning point, end of quote. Open-mindedness is what lets us take that step. How do I recognize when my turning points arrive? You know, I feel like they're coming so frequently. I feel like they're coming so frequently now. I'm getting better at it. You know, like I think one of the things for sure is vigilance, you know, and that vigilance it comes from doing like my step 10 stuff, you know, like seeing when I am not truly moving in the direction that, you know, that is serving, you know, being loving, being surrendering, being honest, following this program, you know, and then I think part of, you know, recognizing when I'm at the turning point is also choices, you know, like choosing to try to grow will keep me looking for the possibilities to grow.
And new
You know, if
DLC.
I put my blinders on and I'm like, everything's okay, I don't need to change, I don't see all those other roads. You know, like I think of the opportunities that just walked right in front of my face when I was fucked up and I couldn't even see them. You know, like I couldn't see them because the only thing I saw was more. And I wasn't looking for that, you know, and so like my desire to grow fuels those choices and that vigilance and when I'm starting to gain awareness through like the step 10 of patterns that aren't serving me or my family or my relationships, you know, and I can see it, you know, like it's happened to me this fall where I'm like, I either change now or I just continue, you know, and that just continue is the absence of growth. And it's the absence of using that as a turning point. I mean, it's literally called a turning point because we're turning. And so if I don't turn, I've ignored it entirely. And you know, and then one thing, you know, and the one thing for sure is hindsight is 2020. I could see all the missed opportunities I've had perfectly, and be like, missed one yesterday, missed the opportunity for that, you know, and what comes out of that sometimes is amends, where I maybe can't go back to that corner, but I can make a detour and end up down that road by recognizing it, making some amends and trying to change. And, you know, and I think the biggest thing for me is how do I recognize when my turning points arrive is when the discomfort of staying the same outweighs the discomfort of change.
Mhm.
Because change is going to be uncomfortable. That's the one thing that I'm for sure seeing, and that's okay because that discomfort is generally followed by a freedom,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
some sort. And whereas
Yep.
the discomfort of staying the same,
Bro, bro.
it's going to be that same shitty stagnancy tomorrow and the day after and the day after. And there is no light at the end of that tunnel if I don't change.
Mm.
So it's like I'd rather a quick game of Rochambeau and be done with
Mhm.
it.
Growth, man. It's growth. Yeah.
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 So I think that's what I've got on that one. What are you doing for time, Andrew?
I can pop another question in there.
Okay,
15 minutes.
should I? I'll put on a timer. I'll put on a
Okay.
timer, and yeah, you go and ask Brand. I'll put it
Are
on
you
for
ready?
3 minutes. When way everybody
I'm
gets to run.
ready.
That's cool. Ready?
I'm
So, all
ready.
right, Brand Dizzle. What does hope and mindedness look like for Brandy today and going forward as we attempt to obtain that infinity chip and stay clean the rest of our lives?
That's great because, like I was saying before, I would hope different things, and hope for me isn't like I was saying. I hope I don't burn dinner. I hope I catch the sale. It's I hope to continually grow. I hope to stay open minded with my surroundings and myself, and know that like though I don't like onions, so I don't like to use this as a metaphor. I hope to continuously peel back those layers.
Un-American, but okay.
I know I need to find something else. Like I'm an artichoke. I need to peel back the artichoke. And and I want to be able to continuously do that and stay open minded and have hope for even though everything's good now. If, like I can always, there's always something more in life. Not that I have to strive for it, but like I can do this. I found that in recovery, I can do anything I put my mind to. That's realistic, of course. If I stay open minded, I have hope, faith, willingness, remain teachable, and get out of my own way. I got to get out of my own way for a lot of those things. I want to be along for the ride, but I can't be driving. Um, so from this point on, and days to come, I want to be able to share that with my family too. Not only have an open mind or hope. I want my kids to see that in me, and I want them to have it. You know, I'm sure they just live their days. Go to school, come home, do homework, like hope for different things, and be open minded to change in the right direction. And I'll say real quick, I have a 14-year-old son that um constantly says I know and doesn't like criticism at all
I
or
hate that.
yeah, I hate it. And then an 18-year-old daughter who's amazing but would live at home forever if I would let her. And so I want them to be able to be open-minded and have hope, and so with that I gotta show them that it's possible, and I appreciate the tools that I have today to be able to do that, and I'm always willing. I love to dig into myself when it comes to my recovery because Brandy is. I mean, there's things I only see my side, so I want to see all sides of everything because I think that's where you get the right angle, anyways, when you're able to see it from every side of it. So I'm grateful for you guys. I love you guys so much, and thank you for putting a new word into my vocabulary. Open-mindedness.
Love
Open
you,
mind.
Love you,
Brandy.
Brand.
Love you. You ready, JJ?
I'm ready, bro.
What does hope and mindedness look like for JJ today and going forward as you attempt to stay clean the rest of your life, man?
Well, it's I desire to stay clean the rest of my life, for real. And I need that desire, man. It really it's such a simple concept. And I really love Brandy's notion of, switching up this iconic onion, right? Like,
Smelly thing.
an artichoke has a heart.
Mm.
And really, and there's, all that spiny shit you got to get through ultimately
Yeah.
too, right?
Ooh.
But from our literature, like we've used this layers of the onion because there's layers, and I guess because maybe it makes us cry,
Yeah.
and
That's probably why.
right. But that artichoke heart, man, that's really worth going after, which the literature says at the core, and it's hard to imagine at the core of the onion. I think it's hard to imagine at the core of addicts that even hear that verbiage in the book where
Mm.
it says that what we do by peeling the layers back is we reveal a pure and healthy spirit. Like that's really
Yeah.
what we have. Like being open-minded to the fact that inside all these layers of prickly leaves or freaking eye burning onion skin, is a pure and healthy spirit, one that is giving and loving, right? That
Yeah.
there isn't conflict, that there. So when when I think about, what would I hope for, my open-mindedness would be that I would continue to surrender the fears, because my fears are very close-minded, you
Yeah.
know, and their efforts to, why it's a symptom of my disease of addiction, which is control, right? And if I lock something in, to this might happen, this is going to happen. Um, I'm it, I'm my mind is closing, and it's, I heard recently that worrying and fretting is praying for something negative to happen,
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it blew my mind, right? It did. So, what I have to be encouraged. Like, what's the truth? The truth is these things work. My fear would say, it doesn't work. My disease would say, you know, you can't trust this fellowship, go back to the old one and cop. And that's just absurd. The evidence, and again, being able to discern and keep open-minded. Wow, you know, it seems like, and I hate saying so much. That's something I'd like to really change. Um, for real. I'm gonna trade it in for real, I guess. Um, the difficulty, I think that what's my time? 29 seconds. That addict has, because even up, hard to believe that things are as okay as they really can be, is make it very difficult to accept the love that's there for us, you know, and um, and that's probably a whole nother meeting. I don't want to even open that right now because um, I just, I feel that can be so much at the core. I want to stay open-minded to believe that I'm worth loving, that I'm worth, um, not clinging to the fears that are an addict effort to define things,
Yeah.
and because the freedom of seeing what's really there and what's really possible. All I have to do is look in the rear view, and it's unbelievable. My fear limits, um, the potential. So thanks for the question, Andrew. I love you guys, and thanks for your artichoke vision, Brandon. I love you.
Thank you for popping in here. You know how beautiful this is? Is we just got the subject of our next podcast is artichokes in recovery, replacing the symbol,
Oh,
replacing the symbol with artichokes. Let's
There you
go.
go.
Yep.
from
Come on.
I
spiny
like
to
artichokes.
succulent.
Find that
That's
heart,
right.
young man. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so
That's
funny. That's
right.
so beautiful. Are just artichokes in recovery. Let's go. All right. So,
That's good.
what does hope-mindedness look like for you, Milan, today and going forward as you attempt to stay clean the rest of your life?
Man, like, first of all, I love you guys excessively. I could talk for 3 minutes about how much I love you guys, how much I feel like I
Yeah.
get to learn and share with you guys, and how completely different our
Mm,
perspectives are, and how that enriches my existence.
yeah.
You know, it gives me hope every time I share moments like this with people I love, you know, and I think because my mind feels open now, that I get the benefits of it. You know, like that's the one thing that I don't feel like I'm the same person I was at all. Like I just don't
Yeah.
even feel, I don't feel physically like that person. I can't, like, I look at pictures and see videos and I'm like, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
You know, and really for me, what I would say my, you know, my open-mindedness is towards to continue deepening my surrender. Like, you know, like there is so much shit I have let go of, and there's a lot more to go. But, you know, I fully have hope that, and my mind is open to whatever it's going to take to change it, you know? Like I'm constantly seeking different information. And, you know, like I was saying earlier about that epiphany I had a couple days ago, is that, you know, I want to move towards a state of being love. You know, I
Mhm.
want love to not be a noun or a verb. I want it to be a state of being for me. And
Yeah.
and I feel that just like I've gained some serenity and some joy and some peace, I've gained love in my heart.
Oh yeah.
I've gained that state of love. And and so like, you know, my hope is just that I keep moving towards that feeling,
Yeah.
because what it's doing is just making my relationships, my state of being, my perspective every single day better. You know, like and all I got to do is keep doing the same shit that I've been doing, and it
Yep.
just keeps, and it keeps moving in that direction. Okay, that's all I got. I love you guys.
Love it.
Andrew, you
Yeah.
seems like something's going on.
Yeah, no, we're good. You guys had
Okay.
people making noise in the background.
Oh,
So what does hope and mindedness look like for me today and going forward as we attempt, or as I attempt to stay clean the rest of my life? I love you guys, man. I love you guys. We're some magical motherfuckers, man. I just, you know,
Right?
laughter is love, and I just get my emotions moved from tears to love, back to laughter to joy to it's just amazing. But going forward, I'll just kind of bring it home, like for me, it's, you know, letting go of that fear of being wrong, right? That's what it looks like for me going forward. Staying teachable, no matter how much clean time I get. You know what I mean? I can just be, I could be another statistic like that if I pick up. You know, this disease is killing people every day, and so the moment I think that I have this thing licked, I'm in trouble. Um, you know, I've got to remain willing to learn something new every day. You know, multiple things new every day. I got to stay open to the spiritual messages that y'all are telling me, right? Like God speaks through people, right? I don't know what
Mhm.
God sounds like. I don't know what his voice sounds like. So a lot of times I have to hear it from y'all's voice, right? I got to hear that message from somewhere. Um, I got to be humble, right, enough to admit that I don't have all the answers, and I never will. Um, and I got to recognize that clean time is not the same as spiritual maturity. Just because somebody has a lot of clean time doesn't mean that they're tapped in spiritually, right? Somebody can be completely cut off spiritually, but you know, I surround myself with spiritual people, right? This is a spiritual, not religious program. Whatever keeps you clean is perfect. It works. It works, or whatever does work for you, keep it going. But I got to remember that the moment I think I've got it all figured out, I become extremely dangerous to myself and other people.
Yep.
You know, I
Yep.
never want to be too spiritually arrogant. I have this written down. I never want to be too spiritually arrogant to hear God when he speaks to me through y'all. You with me? I don't want to ever not be able to hear that message from you. And that can get tricky because I can take situations as if the message isn't coming to me because of where it's coming from, like because of how it's dressed and how it sounds. And I'll get cut off quick. Like I find myself, and this has happened to me recently, like there's certain people that there's a certain meeting, there's certain people at certain meetings that I just can't stand. I can't do
Mhm.
it. And I've even talked to my sponsor about this, but I've found myself in meetings turning off the disconnecting the audio while they're, and then I sit there and watch for their little box to go away before I turn it back on. And I've never done that before. So I've got to do some work around that. Am I doing too many meetings? Right? I got to figure that out. why am I not able to listen to that man or woman talk for 4 minutes? Something's wrong. So it's why this thing is beautiful. It's why this thing works, right? I got to be willing to try new solutions because my default patterns are wrong. The system is broken, right? So going forward, open-mindedness means I have to be able to try something different because me getting clean was completely different.
Yeah.
Right. Like I have to continue to lean into those things that are working, which it was all different at the beginning. So I got to continue that too. I can't just be like, hey, I've been clean for 4 years now. I'm just going to kind of eat a bunch of ice cream and just not talk to my people. Like it's not going to happen.
My story.
We can't. We gotta come on a podcast and talk about it, man, because it's a lot easier and a lot better for me if I can talk about it and not actually do the thing, right? And then talk about how ridiculous it might be on the back end and how I'll be sitting on the toilet for days or whatever the backlash is going to be, and then not do it, right? I'm better, right? I don't need to be doing that anymore, right? So love you guys.
I love you guys. I've got to head out for work here.
I do too.
But
love you guys.
Thank you for coming late, JJ. Brandi, I love you.
Andrew, I love home, JJ. Thank you.
Everybody out there, tune in next episode for more recovery fun. Bye-bye, everybody.
Love y'all.
Please help us help others. If you like what you've seen here today, please subscribe and share this podcast and help us get to 100 followers. We're looking for interaction with our audience. So please email recoveryfreedomrising@gmail.com or contact Milan South Okanagan Starcic on Facebook with questions, topic suggestions, or just comments. We'd love to hear from you.